Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and blessings to the hopeful elect teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And in this lesson, man, I'm a little bit, pissed off, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because I was making a point about the zero emission cars by 2035, because the EU had voted to ban. Let me see if I can pull up the actual article. Not article, but the statement on Google here. EU bans petrol cars. In February, the EU Parliament voted to approve new law banning the sale of petrol and diesel cars from 2035. The new rule, part of a larger effort to combat climate change. Ooh, you see that? So they just care about the climate so much. All right, and in order to combat that, they're just basically planning to ban the sale of all petrol and diesel cars from 2035. Now, all of us that, pretty much have got our eyes open to see what's going on. A lot of us have come across this information already. But like I said, I was peed off because I made a point about it in my previous video that I did. But for some reason, the recording clock stopped ticking. So I had to hit record button. So I basically was talking to myself for a minute, and I didn't like that, man, because I was like, hey, the spirit, do another video. So here I am doing another video for it, Lord willing, it's edifying. And ultimately this whole banning of petrol and diesel cars, which I'm gonna go ahead and play you the clip, and it was put up 5 months ago. So this is what they plan to do. This whole new, in combating climate change and all of that, voting to ban the sale of petrol and diesel cars by 2035. Now, notice they got something over here in the UK that they're setting up in these major cities, mainly London, ultra low emission zones where they don't want you to drive any car that's any petrol car that's below 2004. Meaning if you got it and that the plate number, it was manufactured before 2004, or any diesel manufactured before 2015. So in one hand they're saying, look, we don't want you to sell them, which, let me just play you the clip. In one hand they're saying you don't want you to sell your cars, but then those cars they're not drivable on the roads, because if you drive them on the roads in those zones, then you're gonna have to pay a daily fucking fee. So they basically are saying do away with your cars. Remember, in the West, they said you will own nothing and you will be happy. Before I play this clip, I must be allowed to read a scripture, which is this is one of the scriptures that I brought in my last lesson as well, but I'm going to read it again. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let me hold another one that come to mind. The word Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. We're not ignorant of his devices, and we're not to be. That's why the Apostle Paul said, see then that you walk circumspectly as wise and not as fools, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. We have to be absolutely circumspect with what's going on, man. Okay, and granted, you might not catch every minor detail with everything, like, to do with the economy or to do with this and to do with that. But we have to have our eyes open. We have to know what the prophecies are talking about. We damn sure have to know what the mark of the beast is. Revelation 13 and 16 on down. And that no man might buy or sell, right? Save he that have the MARK. All right? You ain't going to be able to make no transactions unless you have that. So they're slowly stripping away your freedom of mobility to move around. Okay, they're talking about introducing these 15-minute cities where, you're going to be fined for, coming out of these zones, which reminds us of nothing but the Hunger Games type scenario, or Equilibrium, or In Time with Justin Timberlake. Okay, and why are they doing that? Because Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So Esau knows he has a short time. And when I say Esau, I'm talking about starting with the elites of the nation of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, they're the wicked that the Bible speaks of, in whom the earth has been given into the hand of. They're the reason you can point the finger at them. They're the reason why peace has been taken from the earth in these last days. Okay, because they were set up to do that. All right, but we're coming to a time where peace is going to be restored to the earth with Yahweh Shai, starting with Yahweh Shai. Okay, because guess what? One of his many titles is what? The Prince of Peace. He's going to establish his kingdom on the earth. And by default, we're going to be joint heirs with him when he comes back. Okay, and he's going to put down all... Because Esau think he's got authority right now. Okay, but he's going to... Yahweh Shai is going to stomp out all of his so-called authority on the earth. All right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 24. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the power, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority. So you see all these rules and regulations that Esau's pushing out right now. Okay, starting with their elites, they're going to have no authority. They're not going to push out no more rules, because all of their rules and they're flexing their authority and that over the earth, taking peace from the earth in the process, destroying the earth in the process, creating these forever chemicals, and which now exists in pretty much, inside of every individual walking the earth today. You got cancer levels on the all-time rise. You got floating islands of plastic. Okay. You've got mass deforestation. You got all these things that are happening on the earth, and it's all because of this devil's rulership. And now he's telling you that he wants to take in your freedom to be able to move around in your cars, man. All right, this has already been approved. The EU already voted this in by 2035. So let's go ahead and play you this clip.
So the most important part for me was that car driving would be still affordable and climate friendly.
And you notice how they want to talk about the climate when they're the ones that are fucking up the climate themselves. When they're the ones that are actually fucking up the earth. Okay, notice how they want to talk about that. See, that's that order of chaos. See, they want to tell you how chaotic things are, but they're the ones that created the problem. That's that problem reaction solution. Now they can come forth with the solution now, and the solution is, look, the ban of sale of petrol and diesel cars. Which who owns these major corporations that actually manufacture these petrol and diesel cars? Who set up the system of us being able to go from one place to another? Who set that up in the first place? Esau. So this guy is a devil, man. Okay, and then he wants to point the finger at you, and he wants to have TED Talks, and he wants to have Bill Gates up there on a giving a talk about reducing the human population to reduce CO2 emissions. These people are the devil that the Bible speak of, man. Okay, so we can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. You see what he's doing? The scripture says, never trust thine enemy, man.
From 2035, new cars that are placed on the market, they should be zero emission. We're not saying, okay, you have to sell your car and buy a new car. We're only saying that in 2050, we would like to see that also the transport sector is carbon neutral.
And you know what they're saying, that you ain't going to have to sell your old car now, which we ain't, Lord willing, we don't ever get to 2035. Lord willing, we could be out of here next year, man. All right, if the spirit wills, Lord willing, we be out of here. And Lord willing, the CHIP that gets pushed coming towards the closing of this year, and we be out of here next year, because we're hastening the day. All right, but we all understand that the chip has to be pushed before the return of Yahweh Shai. We understand that. All right, but by them saying, look, by this year and that year, we want to be zero emission. What do you think they're going to be doing with people that already have existing cars that are run off diesel and petrol? They're going to be demonizing you for driving that. So they're going to peer pressure you into. See, this is what Esau does. He introduces a thing called peer pressure, and he has your back pushed up against the wall to the point where you are going to be shunned, by his rules and regulations indirectly. Okay, you're going to be looked at by the rest of society. You're going to be looked down upon by the rest of society, I should say, because you're not playing ball in order to come together to combat climate change. That's why you see these bugged out protesters, man. All these vegans and these I don't eat meat and all of that, because they're pretty much they're a part of the system. And Esau has set this up. He's got meat eaters pitted against vegan or non-meat eaters, vegetarians pitted against carnivores and all of that. He's got this group of people, straight people coming up against the alphabet people, and the alphabet people against the straight people, and so on and so forth. So this is what he does, man. It's called divide and conquer. Okay, he's got the man against the woman against the man in the household, but then he gives the woman welfare and so on and so forth. So we can't be ignorant to this, man. Okay, this is Esau's formula. This is what he uses. Okay? In order to come forth with a solution to be, oh, he's the white. That's why the scriptures speak about no more. Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, man. Because he presents himself like he has the best answers in that. But guess what? He's the source of the problem. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See, you Jake's got to know who your enemy is. All right? See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So we have to know exactly what time we're in, man. Okay? We got to be circumspect. The word circumspect means to look around. All right? So don't listen to what Esau says, man. You got to go in. You got to really spiritually pick this place apart, dissect it through the spirit, and pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, to open your mind, to be able to do that, to be able to see the plans of this devil. Okay, to not get fooled when there's a pestilence that's arisen, which the Lord said would happen, by the way. There's going to be pestilences on the earth, famines, earthquakes in diverse places. The Lord said these things are going to happen. Don't get swayed and feared into, you know, don't let Esau, you know, shame you into not taking the stabbing jab. Stuff like that, man, because ultimately it's going to come by the form of the ultimate bowing down to this system is going to come by way of the chip. All right, and if you don't take it, then basically it's going to be off with your head. All right. So you see how they're decreeing these unrighteous decrees? Okay, and it's only going to get worse because Esau knows he has but a short time. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? And that write grievousness which they have prescribed, man. Right? You dictating where a man can and can't go. You know, that's an unrighteous decree right there. You telling him how he can and can't travel. That's an unrighteous decree right there. All right. Especially when you set up the method for travel in the first place. Okay. Petrol and diesel. And then now all of a sudden, yeah, we're going to do away with all of that. Okay. And if you don't, then you're demonized in society. This man is the devil, man. Okay. Meanwhile, in the background, he's the one that's destroying the earth, polluting the air with chemtrails, polluting the food that we eat, the water that we drink, destroying us, murdering us, man, in cold blood, taking peace from the earth. That's why the scripture called Esau the red horse in Revelation 6 and 4. Okay? And that power was given unto him to take peace from the earth. All right? So we got our eyes on this devil. And you know that another scripture comes to mind is Psalms 55 and 21? On 21, it says, the words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. Okay, so Esau can come with that slick talk, that slippery, oily, melted butter talk. You know, he can talk to you like that saying goes like butter wouldn't melt and all of that and whatever. But guess what? Inside of his mind, he thinks about nothing but war. Okay, he thinks about nothing but drawing a sword on your ass. And why? Because his blessing is a sword. When you read about the blessing of the nation of Esau, Edom, they were given the blessing of the sword. Okay, in Genesis 27, I believe. All right, so this man is a devil that the Bible speaks of, and that's why the scripture says that to destroy them which destroy the earth. Those that destroy the earth are going to be destroyed, man. He's nothing but a hypocrite. All right, let's get that in Job. All right, the Job chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right, so this man's definitely a hypocrite, man. All right, and who is the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4, Esau, Edom, they're known as the wicked, man. The borders of wickedness, right? And he's a hypocrite. Okay, again, problem, reaction, solution. That shows you how much of a hypocrite he is. Okay, he creates a problem, reacts, he got the reaction to it, and he's holding these meetings and that and whatever. So we've come to a solution, and this is what we're going to do by such and such a year. But this man is the one that's created this, all the suffering on the earth. All right, why do you think you have all these train derailments happening, poisoning the water supply? Poisoning the food supply, okay, disrupting the food supply. He's the one that's responsible, or is going to be responsible in large quantities of availability of food and water. He's going to be responsible for that, all right, because he controls that distribution. That's why you got stampedes over there in Pakistan right now. People are dying because he's the one that's in rulership over the earth. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. See, when Israel are in authority on the earth, man, there's going to be peace on the earth. Because we're going to be teaching these nations how to live the right way. We ain't going to be poisoning your food. We ain't going to be poisoning the air. We ain't going to be hypocrites, man. Okay? It's going to be our way or the fucking highway, man. That's it. Alright? It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Alright? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reacheth unto the clouds. Okay? And so this man's a devil, man. He's proud, bro. Okay? The scriptures speak about though thou set thy nest among the stars, exalt thyself as the eagle. And Esau reverences the eagle, man. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So this man's proud. Okay? And the eagle is like a high-flying, proud bird, man. Alright? And they're going to be brought the fuck down. Alright? It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? So it's going to be like a bad nightmare, man, when Esau was in rulership on the earth. Once he's done away with, man. He's just going to be like a thing of the past, man. And he's the only nation that's going to be done away with. Okay, what the Lord is going to do with his spirit, that's another matter. But we know that the people, the particular people of Esau, Edom, they're going to be done away with, man. All right, they're going to be Obadiah 118, if you will, you know. So that's it, man. I just wanted to make a quick point. You know, on that, on that video. Zero emission cars by 2035. New EU rules explained. Like I said, this is old news, but the spirit got on me to wanted to do a video on it because I mentioned it in my previous video. And like I said, I was cut off. The recording, you stopped recording for some reason, but that's just Satan, man. But I said I couldn't just go to bed without re-attempting to do it. So it was on my spirit. So Lord willing, it was edifying anyway. And with that, man, I pray you were edified. Shalom.